Hello and welcome to this quick start guide for the Boeing 737. The purpose of this guide is to get you from cold and dark to ready to push back and start up as quickly as possible. So bells and whistles of some systems checks and some other various things that aren't necessarily required to get this plane flying and functioning properly. That stuff's not going to be covered here. This is purely to get this plane ready to fly as quickly as possible. Stepping into the flight deck, we're going to start not there, but up here on the overhead panel. From cold and dark, the very first thing we're going to do is turn our battery switch on. We're going to do that by just closing that shield. Next, we're going to go standby power to bat. Now we're going to come over to our PMDG EFB here and connect our ground power. So whatever plane you're flying, get your ground power connected to it. For the PMDG, this is about the easiest way to do it. You come over to your EFB, Ground Operations app, and grab ground power, hit connect. That'll set up over here. Go back to the overhead panel, and now we will go ground power on. This is the point you will start in the case of the PMDG 737NG upon loading into the sim. If you don't reset your aircraft to be cold and dark, you're going to load in basically like this. So those last couple steps we just did with the battery and the ground power, that won't be necessary unless you have set your plane to cold and dark. So that's where you'll start if you're just loading straight into the sim and not turning anything else off. The procedures here are also pretty much the same between the 737NG and also the 737 MAX. So you can use this interchangeably. All of these steps are exactly the same. You're going to flip the same switches and push the same buttons. Next thing we're going to do now that we got ground power connected and turned on is we will come up here, turn both of our IRSs to nav. And at this point, it's time to program your FMC. Not going to cover that in this tutorial. I'll have another video on that. But for now, we're going to skip ahead to post FMC programming. So we have our FMC programmed now. We're going to go ahead and continue with starting the APU. So back up to our overhead panel, we're going to turn on our left fuel pumps, and then we will go APU start. Now on the next generation 737, we have this EGT gauge right here that once we start our APU, this needle will start climbing. It'll come up all the way to right around 9. And then it'll start slowly coming back down. And one thing that you can do to kind of guess when your APU will be ready is once that needle gets back down to around 4, that's about when you're going to see your APU gen light illuminate over here. And that's what we're waiting for. But it takes it a minute, so we'll just wait on that. You see it's getting back down to 4 here. It's going to start to level out. And then we have APU gen off bus light illuminated. So now we're going to go ahead and turn both of our APU gens on. And we will come over here now and we'll go APU bleed on. At this point, APU is running and providing power. So we can disconnect our GPU. Now that we got all of that done, we turn on the rest of our fuel pumps. We will turn on our electrical 2 and 1 hydraulic pumps as well. And that is the quick start for the Boeing 737 from cold and dark. From this point, you are 100% ready to go ahead and push back and start your engines, and that's all you need for this plane to fly properly. Thanks for watching.